Bird Flu by Sergi Calham and Randy Dominguez.
Bird flu, also known as avian flu, typically only occurs in birds, but it has been seen for an infected bird to spread the virus through being consumed. This disease was first discovered in 1878 in Italy. Almost all birds can contract the disease, but some are more resistant than others.
For example, if a person consumes an infected bird, then that person will become infected with it. This virus can easily spread from one bird to another, but cannot transmit it to another human unless consumed. The New England Journal of Medicine has stated that this virus is commonly seen in younger children and adults.
The influenza virus has a negative strand RNA, which means it has a mirror image of the messenger RNA that helps it make its own proteins. The exact virus that causes the infection can actually change and mutate to infect humans. If this mutation was to happen, it could start a worldwide epidemic, and the shape of the virus is a rod-shaped one. This flu has a mild and fatal form. The fatal one usually causes death within the first 24 hours sign of the symptoms. The disease has spread all across the world, and over 150 million birds have died from it. Since 1997, over 250 people have been infected from birds, and some of the first human cases were seen in Hong Kong.
Birds that migrate through seasons are the most common ones to carry the disease, but have the most resistance to an infection, while domestic poultry are the most vulnerable ones to get it and have no resistance. Many researchers believe that the number one cause to getting the disease is from contact between contaminated equipment, birds, and rats that carry it on their feet.
Bird flu is highly infectious, and since 2003, over 600 human cases have been reported from 15 different countries. But there has been no report of infection in the United States. The death rate is very high, with over 206 human deaths. It is very difficult for the virus to be spread from human to human. The avian influenza in birds has a high mortality rate and can reach up to 100% within 48 hours.
The bird flu commonly affects the respiratory system. One of the most common symptoms of the disease is respiratory acute syndrome, which is a lung condition that causes a lack of oxygen in your body. This means that the kidneys and brain do not have enough oxygen delivered to them.
The one area that is severely harmed is the lungs because it holds an uneven number of infected cells from the disease. A study had showed that the damage to the lungs was affected by the replication of the virus. Some people can develop lower respiratory infections such as pneumonia. Major signs and symptoms include having a fever, sore throat, coughs, muscle aches, headaches, chest pains, and breathing difficulties. The virus can stay dormant in bird droppings for 3 months and survive in water for at least 4 days.
Some of the first symptoms that the victim experiences are average temperatures at 38 degrees Celsius, and other influenza symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, chest pain, and bleeding from the nose and gums have been reported as early symptoms in some patients. Around 5 days after the initial symptoms, it is very common for the victim to have respiratory distress, a hoarse voice, and a crackling sound when inhaling are commonly seen. Sputum production is a variable and sometimes bloody.
The activity of the immune system with this flu is simple and follows like this. The lung cells get infected with the virus and start to produce more and more chemical signals in cells. These chemical signals then tell the immune system to have the white blood cells attack the source of infection. The production of these chemical signals is the very reason why the lungs are filled with so many white blood cells called macrophages.
One antibacterial drug, oseltamivir, can help increase people's chance of survival with the disease. It helps reduce the duration of viral replication and improve survival. Antiviral drugs cannot cure the virus, but can lower the infection levels to help the immune system work again.
There is no current vaccine for this disease, and standard flu vaccines cannot help protect you against it.
But there are prototypes that have been made that could help fight against the bird influenza. Some research shows that 2 doses will be needed for each person, and even the UK government has ordered over 120 million doses.
Even if you have had the flu before, the virus changes so many times that your body would not even recognize it. This is the very reason why vaccines change each year.
Prophylactic measures include cooking all food to at least 70 degrees Celsius, and eggs should be cooked very thoroughly. Over millions of birds have been removed from populations worldwide. This helps prevent the disease from being passed down from flocks of birds.
In France, many domestic animals have been vaccinated to help fight off the disease.
Other precautions include quarantine and disinfecting farm areas.
A research study had shown that the 1918 Spanish flu was in fact the avian flu virus that we see today. Over 40 million people had died, including 250,000 people in the United Kingdom.
Almost 25% of the population could contract the disease in a pandemic just like one in 1918. This would only occur once. The virus kept spreading easily through humans and would cause for the symptoms to be much more severe.
Some domestic animals can be carriers of the virus without showing any signs of the illness. This means that the virus can stay dormant in their body's immune system without ever coming out.
History with this disease in the past has helped us learn more about how the disease works and how it can be stopped from spreading through a population.
One of the best ways to limit the spread of the disease is to avoid any sort of contact with sick or dead poultry, while also avoiding infected humans that have contracted the disease.
Another way to help prevent the spread is by properly preparing poultry or eggs. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds before and after handling raw meat and eggs. Clean cutting boards and other utensils with soap and hot water to keep from contaminating other foods. Use a food thermometer to keep the heat at a right temperature. Finally, cook the eggs all the way through until firm.
It's very important to learn about this disease because it is an issue that we cannot go past.
Thanks.